Just to clarify, Leroy, because we were talking about this last segment, I just saw on Anthony Chang, who covers the Heat for the Miami Herald. He has pointed out that Adebayo and Kendrick Nunn have to return 2 negative COVID-19 tests at least 24 hours apart upon arrival at Disney, like others of the Heat had to do when they arrived. So obviously they will not be available for the scrimmage against the Kings. So they do have to, I guess, still be quarantined for a little bit, Leroy.
I miss you a lot.
I miss you a lot, too. Oh, I miss you a lot. Tell them to bring me my money. Love it.
Tell them bring me my money.
So the other piece of Heat news that happened yesterday, it's outsized related to the Heat, is regarding their former first-round pick, Justise Winslow. And Justise Winslow announced yesterday on his Twitter account that he injured his hip in the midst of a scrimmage the Grizzlies were having, and that he is done for the season. Now, is it a broken hip? I don't know. This is just something where they're being overcautious because they haven't had Justise Winslow all year, and they're investing in a 23-year-old player, and why risk it? Who knows? But yet again, Justise Winslow, who is a good player, but his durability has definitely been an issue for him throughout his career.
Can you be a good player without actually playing basketball? Let me answer that for you. No.
Okay.
So the questions that you have about Winslow, can you say he's a good player?
Yeah, I think when he's on the court, he's a good player.
If he's,
I guess if I have to put that caveat on it,
he's second guy off the bench, not even the first guy. Like he couldn't even win 6-man.
Well, nobody can win. I guess if he's not playing, he can't win 6-man.
No. But I'm saying he would be the second wave of guys off the bench.
I think there's a couple of things that's going to be weird for Justise Winslow for him, because Justise Winslow is most comfortable being a point guard, and the star of the Memphis Grizzlies is a point guard. Like John Morant's going to win Rookie of the Year. He plays the position that Justise Winslow wants to play, and I think that was one of the things that was going to be weird here too. It's tough to know. We briefly got to look at it because again, he wasn't healthy. But we don't really know what Justise, Bam, and Jimmy looks like on the floor together. But I think just looking on his face, it seems a little bit weird, doesn't it? Like a weird fit. So I think the question has to be asked with this is, did the Heat get away from one here with Justise? Like, did they, there was obviously questions about how much he was going through with his, I guess, toughness or his ability to get through some things with his back, which it was kind of left in the fog about how serious it was. And they made a win now trade with trading for Igoudala and Jae Crowder. He's very young, but he's never on the court. I mean,
at some point, when you talk about some of the injuries he's had,
and they've been all over the place.
He's had old man injuries though.
Yep.
Hip, back, that's old man injuries. And he doesn't play that violently to have those injuries. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about like sudden jumping, like if I said Derrick Jones Jr. had these injuries, back, hip, you'd be like, okay, the guy's a pogo stick, right? He's very active. But when you think of Winslow, he's more methodical, slow, old man basketball. You know what I mean?
No, I think he's more of a get out in the open court, try and go downhill on you type of guy. But I think the thing that's weird about it is he plays a position I guess the appeal to Justise Winslow would be is he's a thick kid, big.
Right, he's a big boy
for a point guard.
Right, and defense. Keep in mind defense.
That would be the appeal to go bully somebody. But yeah, these things keep getting they keep just flaring up, and I just there's no way the Heat don't look at that yesterday and they're just like, whew.
Say it.
May have dodged a bullet.
Hey, I'm telling you what, you got the Heat organization out here like the Matrix, right? Like Keanu Reeves, like, woo, Jimmy Butler, what's his name? Hayward,
Oh, we definitely dodged a bullet with Hayward.
Who else did we dodge? Justise Winslow. Who else we dodged a bullet with?
I mean, I honestly dodged another bullet of a season with Hassan. Got the hell out of here.
Yep.
Dodged a bullet
Philly
of that.
cheese.
Well, I think they ate some of the bullet before they dodged it.
Yeah, flesh wound. Had it pulled out.
Uh-oh. Zeus is barking now.
Dude, I saw a picture of your dog yesterday
I know.
that your wife put on Facebook. That thing is going to be so big.
Uh-huh.
Those paws,
I know.
they're massive.
I know. It's crazy.
How much kibble does that thing eat already?
No, he doesn't eat a lot.
Really?
Yeah, he picks. He picks at it.
Looks like
They eat out. Put it this way: they eat out of the same bowl, and
and-
nobody
him and Oreo?
fights. They don't fight for food.
I'm telling you. But yeah, man, it was when you saw that yesterday, you're like, damn. I did feel bad on some level.
No,
I was
you
like,
didn't. Stop.
No, I did.
No, you didn't.
I wasn't.
Don't try to
I didn't
backtrack.
celebrate it.
You
I
call
didn't
them-
celebrate it.
you can't-
Some people were like, whoo. I was more
Some
like,
people.
I was like, that kind of sucks.
That's kind of like say I have a question to ask for my friend. Some people that would be you.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I was like,
Look.
it kind of sucks for Justice.
The guy has been injured an awful lot, and we've given him the benefit of the doubt as far as, but when Justice comes back, like he was that guy. Oh, when Justice comes back, Swiss Army knife. And when he comes back, and what happens in sports, man, is at some point you got to move on.
Yeah,
like the games don't go away.
He has a contingency of Heat fans that did give him the benefit of the doubt for a long time, and I just I get it. I get the appeal of Justise Winslow. I get the idea of Justise Winslow, but I always come to this with him as like everything that you want Justise Winslow to be, Bam already is and was the first opportunity he got to start. And has toughed through some really tough physical stuff this year. There were games where Bam Adebayo busted up his groin, and you're like, I don't know if this guy's going to play the next day. He's out there. He's playing the entire game. Mm-hmm. He's already facilitating like crazy. Does all those things that you were hoping him as far as being a focal point of running an offense. He's a better fit with Jimmy Butler. I just think with Justice, it was a good pick. I don't think it was a bad pick for the Miami Heat by any means. I think that whole draft class, him and Jay Rich, I think they were good players for the Miami Heat. But they weren't players that are going to take you to the next level. They're the players that get you the players. And with Justice, the problem with him was he was getting so banged up that his value turned into Jay Rich was at the point. Jay Rich could get you the return and a sign and trade of Jimmy Butler. Justice got to the point where he gets you over the hill, Andre Igoudala.
And Jay Crowder, who ended up
being like seemingly the star of the deal anyway.
Right, pretty much. So, yeah, I just like I'm a little more reserved when it comes to putting that moniker on a player.
Injury prone.
You know what I mean? Like just all of a sudden, he's Swiss Army knife. He's a pivotal piece of the team or whatever. He never played a full season, and he was always banged up. We always had questions about his shot. We always had questions about the filler crab. We had all these questions, and the Heat were pumping, to us, Swiss Army knife. He does a lot of things without or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but I'm just going to hold back a little bit. That doesn't mean it just means I'm not all in, because you want me to have this blind leap of faith into a guy who you got to tell us what impact he's making and we can't see it, right? Like, we watch enough basketball to know.
Texter writes in, Winslow wanted to be the starting guy. What a piece of crap. Not Heat culture. That's a bit strong. I don't think that makes him a piece of crap. Like, the guy can have high expectations of himself, but I do think there are times where you should probably have realistic expectations of yourself. And Justise Winslow thought of himself as the face of a franchise. And he wasn't here. I don't think was going to be here. And I quite frankly don't think he was going to be in Memphis either. Like, because, again, the guy who's already a star, like, bursts onto the scene and is doing star things in John Morant. We just haven't seen that from Justise Winslow. We've seen some good things. We've seen some flashes. But I don't think he's going to end up being happy there either, if I had to guess. He's still young.
I mean, like at some point, if we start seeing this happen at a couple of organizations, then we could then say it's the player, not the team, right? I'm not willing to go there, right? But let's keep in mind that very early on in his career, we dubbed him, that guy, him and Jay Rich, those guys. And to be fair to them, or to be fair to us, we hadn't seen him be that guy. But we kept saying he's going to be the guy, right? Jay Rich, going to be the guy. They're going to pass the torch over to Jay Rich. Jay Rich is going to be that guy. Winslow's going to be that guy. And it usually doesn't work like that.
I think
usually you become the guy, and then we call you the guy.
Yeah, I think that we've seen, because Jay Rich, I think, got the opportunity to be the guy, and they tried handing him the ball at the end of games. He'd always kick it out of bounds. And with Justise, he just never was on the court to be the guy. And when he was, I still think there's a lot of stuff where, it didn't all unfold like you're just like, wow, this guy is an absolute star. You saw flashes of it, but not like this grand run, not like it's popped, I think, with Bam Adebayo. I just don't think I don't think you could ever say honestly that you ever saw that from Justise.
Right.
But a huge bummer for him. Huge bummer for him. Touch the bullet.
What are you doing?
Nothing. No, that wasn't me. I don't know.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me. That was out loud?
Huh?
That was out loud?
Yeah. I'll say.
Did you get Putined? Did I get Putined?
No, Leroy. I think Leroy might have just gotten Putined.
Nah. That's a bummer. He's still talking, though. He's not even looking at it.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. So I've learned how to get my Putin turnaround pretty quick. But you don't really know when you're Putined. That's the problem.
Well, that's why I got to tell you you're Putined.
But if I can't hear, oh no, I can hear.
That's Putin's master plan, to Putin you without letting you know that you're Putined.
But right. I would say this: we are so quick to give a title like that to young players. It's not really fair to the players. It's not fair to Justise. It's not fair to Jay Rich that we did that to him, and then we're disappointed because they didn't end up being what we wanted them to be. And on a different team in a different situation, I think they would have had more time to either develop or find their niche on the basketball court. But because they were thrust into positions to be guys they maybe necessarily weren't.
Yeah, I guess, but there's also part of you that I think has to realize, maybe it's okay that Justise Winslow, who maybe thinks of himself being able to turn into Kawhi Leonard, maybe it's okay that he's Marcus Smart or Patrick Beverly.
Right, exactly. But it's not always the player's fault, because he's being who he always has been. It's our fault for thinking he's Kawhi.
Is it?
You understand? Yes.
If he comes swaggering in by year 2 and calls something Winslow culture.
Okay, but he's feeding into it, right?
But kind of feels like he's building the fire.
But if we had ever at any point in time with Jay Rich and Justise said, well, now that these guys are gone, hopefully Justise and Jay Rich can fill these voids, instead of already saying they're going to fill the voids, right? Then the way we felt when they didn't would be a little different. We do this in sports all the time. We claim what a player's going to be before he's done anything along those lines yet. And then you want to yell at the player or be disappointed or call him a bust when maybe the player has always been who he was going to be. It's not his fault. To claim that a player is going to be, he's going to be a Pro Bowl, he's going to be great, he's going to be an all-star, he's going to be all this, when in actuality, his ceiling might be 6th guy, Sixth man of the year. His ceiling might be guy coming off the bench. His ceiling might be, instead of a starting receiver, it might be a third down guy.